Hello guys and gals, and welcome. We got a small update today on the patch notes. Not a whole lot here, but definitely some important tidbits that we can go over. Everything that is updated is in red, so only the red things have been updated. Everything that's in white is the same as we have seen many, many days and many, many times before. The first patch note that we have that is written in red is all the way down here in the fixes, and it states, fixed an issue where item labels would stretch and become distorted while the character menu was open. Fixed an issue that prevented players with underscores in their offline character's name from playing a game, and fixed an issue that allowed for character movement while in the loading screen. This is a rather interesting one, and I'm not really sure what the hell this entails, because I do know that you can like run around and stuff while you're, kind of like, loading. And does this mean that they actually fixed it so that you're not like susceptible to damage while you're loading, or is it just you can't move around while you're loading, but now the monsters can still beat you up? I hope the monster still can't beat you up, because moving while you're in the loading screen was one of the only ways that you could prevent the monsters from beating you up while you were loading in. Like, you would click off, like, you would deliberately click off to the top to try and make your character run away from the monsters that were, like, camping the waypoint. And then we have something else down here. We have made additional improvements to localization translation, so that's, like multiple languages. And then we also have the Sundering charm changes. So we have conviction and lore resistance effectiveness will be at 1/5 effective even after Sundering charms applied effects. This change will go into effect on October 6th once Ladder Season 2 begins. So basically what this means is that, as we had discussed with the Sundering charms before, the breaking of the immunity was allowing the conviction and lore resistance to apply at full effectiveness. They are restoring the penalty, not nerfing it. They're just restoring the penalty. The penalty has always been 1/5 effectiveness versus immunes. So it's not really so much a nerf as it is just simply, hey, we made a mistake. The penalty is still supposed to apply, so we're just fixing it so the penalty actually still does apply. What this means in a nutshell, wrapped in an enigma, is that conviction will be applied at 20% of its effectiveness. Whatever the rated value is, you basically divide that by 5, and that will get your effective value. Conviction at its maximum is negative 150%. And if you apply that penalty to conviction at 150%, you get a 30% negative resistance. Lower resistance also has the same penalty and goes down to 14% from 70%. Lower convictions, like the kind of conviction that comes from Infinity, is only 17%. So it's definitely a lot lower than the 30% from a full bore conviction. Now, what does this mean? Well, this means that negative enemy resistance items will be far more valuable than getting yourself an Infinity. So facets, cold facets, fire facets, lightning facets, poison facets are going to be a much higher value. Crescent Moon, Griffin's Eye Diadem, Wiz and Draw, all those items that have negative enemy resistance on them are going to be a lot more valuable now than they are before, because you're going to need more negative enemy resistance to counter the resistance that a monster has. We also have fixed an issue where the UI would not properly display chance to hit against higher terror zone level monsters. So this is an interesting one. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but the character panel has never accurately showed chance to hit, not even once. So when you hold your mouse over your chance to hit, like right now it says I have a 91% chance to hit a Devilkin. This is not the correct number and has never been the correct number, because the level difference between the monster and you causes you to have a higher miss chance than what is actually reported here. This number that's reported is if the monster is the same level as you are. So if the Devilkin is level 97, like I am, then that hit chance is actually 91%. But if the monster is level 99, then there is a penalty that's being applied. The higher level the monster is, the greater the penalty is, and so basically the character panel has never actually been reporting the correct value, especially when you're going up against a really high level monster like Bale or Uber Diablo or Uber, Mephisto or something like that are like in excess of like level 100, sometimes even as high as level 110. So you basically have a higher miss chance than what is actually reported. So it's very interesting that hopefully what this means is that now the level difference between me and a monster will now accurately be reported in the character panel. I'm actually kind of excited about that because then we'll actually know what our real miss chance is or what our real hit chance is, which is something that we've never really accurately known unless you wanted to go run the calculation, on a calculator, because it's kind of a complicated calculation. Fixed an issue where Terror Zone warning messages were inconsistently populating. I don't really know what that one's about. Added an indication next to the auto map to inform the player where the current Terror Zone is specifically located. And then there's also some interesting changes to the monstats.txt file, as well as some changes to the skills.txt file, the superuniques.txt file, and the treasure class ex.txt file. So this is for you modders out there. It's in the modding category. So if you're interested in modding the game, it does look like we have some new interesting things that have been added to the modification files. Specifically, as you can see, passive stats, desecrated monsters. So desecrated, normal, nightmare, and hell. I'm pretty sure that's what the N and the H stand for, is normal, nightmare, and hell. And then same thing here. You can see we have N and H, and then we have no H. So this is most likely treasure class 1 is normal, treasure class 1 N is nightmare, and H is most likely hell. So this is literally just treasure class changes for normal, nightmare, and hell difficulty. Skills that are be adding, I'm assuming that these are actually the Sunder Charms. That's what I would assume. We're probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is for us. And then I would assuming that the other 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, are probably for the minions. I would assume that those are for the minions, because they made some changes to allow the minions to be able to be affected by the Sunder Charms as well. That's just my guess, though. I could be wrong. And then, of course, we have the super uniques in normal, nightmare, and hell difficulty as well that are now desecrated. And then we have the treasure class EX, which has added the ladder mechanic. And that's pretty much it. There was nothing else. I even checked to see if there was anything else on the on the secret, the Ottendorf cipher that we've discovered. Which, by the way, there's no really new news on the Ottendorf cipher. We seem to have stalled. We still have not found number 26 on the Ottendorf cipher. Not really sure what the hell's going on with number 26. We don't think number 26 actually exists within the files anymore. Like, they're not giving it to us. So anyway, this was just always going to be a short video. There's really not a lot to go over here, but I did want to give you guys an update on the current changes for patch 2.5 Ladder Season 2. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, and be sure to hit that thumbs up button, that like button, because it really helps.